So I recently have been looking for a new light to go with my all-in-one desk setup. That's kind of what's going on over here. Hopefully I'll have that finished in the next couple of days, but I've kind of got really tired of parabolic softboxes. You know, those big giant softboxes that stick like this far out in front of your light. They're an absolute pain to work with. So when I was in NAB, I was hanging out with my buddy Nigel. If you haven't seen his stuff, I don't know what you're doing, but go check out his channel. And he was recommending me to try out a Reflector umbrella, which is one of these. So this is super, super simple, but this is a lighting system that is basically like an umbrella, you know, like you would hold over your head. So it's an umbrella that has white material on the inside, right behind this outer sheet. You mount your light on here, blast it on the inside of the umbrella, which reflects it back through this diffusion and gives you a super, super soft light. So when I went to buy this, I went on Amazon and I searched for a 70 centimeter umbrella, reflector umbrella with diffusion. And I ordered the first one that I saw. The problem is I forgot that you guys use the Imperial system here in America. So I accidentally ordered a 71-inch umbrella. And I got this thing. So this thing is just ridiculously large. I mean, look at the size of this. It is 71 inches tall. So it kind of got me thinking, right? This setup of lighting where you shine the light into a reflective surface, bounce it back through a layer of diffusion onto your subject is basically a book light. But book lights are an absolute nightmare to set up, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. And I thought, how does this compare to a book light? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go down to a little coffee shop and we're going to set up an interview setting. We're going to set light setup, which requires 3 stands and a whole bunch of stuff, which you'll see in just a minute. And using this reflector, see which one you prefer. So let's head on down to the shop. Alrighty, so we have this setup. We're going to do a little talking head sort of interview kind of setup, and we're going to show you a book light real quick. So the problem with book lights, which you're going to see in a second, is they take up a huge amount of space. So we need 3 stands, a giant reflector, diffusion, and your light. So all on independent stands. So for this whole video, we're going to use this. This thing is awesome. So this is the HB80C by Newer. I think it's by Newer. It's got a built-in battery and it works awesome. And I'll go over a whole bunch of this information later, but it's just got like everything you could possibly need, which is pretty sweet on these sorts of lights. And the built-in battery is really nice because then I can just have a light, if it'll turn on, like this, without any cables. So that's always nice. And you can plug it in if you want to. But we're going to go ahead and set this on a stand. Just going to stick it on a monopod because that makes sense to me. So set that there. And then we need to blast this light into a reflector, and then the reflector blasts it back at the talent. So basically, whenever you're trying to get soft light, what you want is the largest light source possible. So instead of using the tiny little light on here, we're going to reflect it, and then the reflected light becomes the source, if that makes sense. So as our reflective surface, we're going to use a 5-in-1 reflector. This is a really big one. You don't need to get one this big. It's like way too big, but here we are. So we're going to use this. All right, so now this is set up, we're going to go ahead and turn on our light so we can shine it onto this reflector. And one of the problems with doing book lights is the more distance you have from the light to your subject, you start to lose some of its like light value. So we're going all the way over to the reflector and then all the way back over to here. So we're losing quite a lot of that light. So for this one, let's try it without for now, but we're just going to do this and then we'll set up our diffusion. So we just take this big sheet of diffusion material. This is like dirt cheap stuff. I think I got this for like 15 bucks on Amazon. And we're just going to hang it up on this. And now this acts as a big diffusion layer. So if you can see here, the light is coming from here, bouncing off the reflective material, back towards Jillian through this soft material. To make the light brighter, we're going to use this reflector dish just to get a little bit more light. So as you can see, this is like a whole giant mess. So this is what it kind of takes to make a book light. This is like not a very well made one. This is like thrown together in 5 minutes. So basically what you need is a light, reflector, and then diffusion material, and it gives a really nice soft light. But it is bulky and it's huge and it takes 3 stands and a whole bunch of extra stuff. So now we're going to switch over to the umbrella to see how that does in comparison. All right, so the nice thing about this is everything is in this. So all we need is the light, 1 stand, and this. So it obviously immediately takes up way less space. So this kind of works in a very similar way. What you can see is we've got this giant big white reflector material. So you mount the light on the umbrella, blast it into the reflective material, it reflects back, and then we're going to put a giant sheet of diffusion material over the front and then attach that to the stand, and you kind of have a book light. So just to kind of show the difference of the light levels, I'm actually going to take the reflector dish off because I'm pretty sure this doesn't lose as much light as the booklight setup does. So you can see in the final sort of shots. But what we can do is take the little umbrella holder on the mount that comes with the light and attach it onto here. And again, the nice thing about this light having a built-in battery is that we actually now have a completely wireless light setup. So we can even cover this whole thing up. And now we have this really cool big light, which is awesome and looks really, really cool. All we have to do now is attach it to our C-stand. So now we can get this light a whole lot closer because it doesn't take up anywhere near as much space, which is always good. Let's see, are we in frame there? There we are. I think that looks awesome. And again, this is another kind of nice thing is like, let's say you have this whole thing set up and you decide you want to change things and move things around. You just got to wheel one stand around. You don't need to move all 3 stands. So and also look how much space that takes up. It's so small, which is awesome. But you can let me know what you think. So looking at these 2 shots side by side, you can tell me which one you prefer. I do think we're gaining more light using the umbrella than we do with the booklight. I typically do prefer the way that the booklight looks, but I think this is pretty close. So you let me know in the comments below. So the keen-eyed among you would have noticed that the clips that we showed are not actually exactly the same as the ones that we were filming at the time of that recording, just because the window was getting blown out way too much. You can kind of see it here, right? That window was just too bright. The sunlight was too bright, so we ended up coming back that evening, resetting up all of those lights and recording it again, kind of at sort of golden hour dusk time, so that there wasn't as much light to compete with. That is just part of having not a super bright light, okay? This is only an 80 watt light, so it's not going to be able to compete with direct sunlight. You're going to need a 200, 300 watt light, depending on what it is that you're trying to film, especially if you're trying to compete with the sun. But this little thing actually held up really well. I was very, very impressed. I love the portability. I love the built-in battery. And the other thing I love about this, which I've been using as my key light for a long time, is first off, it's very reliable. So that's always nice. But secondly, it can kind of do everything. It has a billion modes and a billion options. I've not even been able to cover all of the different options that I have available to me in this light. You've got siren sort of lights, firework lights, TVs. You've got all of these different options for different color temperatures. One of my favorite things in here is that you can actually replicate the color and color temperature of other objects that you might be putting in your shot, like practical shots. So there's like light bulbs, incandescent bulbs, or cloudy days, sunny days, all that kind of stuff. It's all built in here that you can, quickly hit a button and it sets you up for 2700 Kelvin or 5600 Kelvin, whatever it is that you're trying to match with, if you don't want to have to go in and dial everything in manually. Now, the other thing is it has an insane amount of manual dial-in ability to be able to do whatever you want with it, which is really, really awesome. It comes in this nice case that you can carry around if you want to, which is really nice. And obviously you have that reflector and the mounts. It comes with everything that you need, and it came with like a super long USB-C cable, which I really appreciated. Thank you, Newer, for sending this to me. I very much appreciate it. They're not sponsoring this video, and the big umbrellas that I was talking about, those are also by Newer, but I bought those with my own money. So I don't know, ethics. But anyway, I thought this test was pretty interesting. I thought the image looked very, very similar. Looking at them side by side, the booklight and the umbrella, there are minor differences. You can kind of see a little bit of difference in color. I think that might just be the diffusion that is connected to each is producing a slight color cast. To me, it looks like the booklight is, the shadows are slightly darker, but the fall off is very, very smooth. So it's kind of more contrasty, but not in a harsh way at all. So I do like the booklight kind of look. Again, I said it earlier on, this is not a professional way of doing a booklight. We threw this together in like 5 minutes. But I thought the umbrella reflector was fantastic. And it was like $70 for a 6-foot reflector, which is a bargain. I thought it was really, really good. And I'm also using, I did buy a second one. I bought the smaller one that I tried to buy the first time, which is like a 3-foot reflector. And it was like $40-50. And I think it's great. It's a lot cheaper and a whole lot easier than parabolic softboxes, and also much lower profile and gives a much softer light. I'm a big fan. So you can tell me what you think in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, do hit the like button, drop a comment, or maybe even subscribe as we continue to build this channel. I appreciate all of you for doing so, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.